So, wanted to go over something because today I wanted to share something with you guys about the wealth multiplier. So, the biggest thing about most people, they already know, which is probably you guys too. You already know how to earn money. People are great at that. If you have a business, you already know how to make money. That's not a challenge for most people that I talk to. Just like that, either you work a job or you have a business or whatever it is you do. And we've all been taught how to save money, which a lot of people are great at that. A lot of people know how to make money in their business, they know how to make money at their job, and they know how to save money. But very few people are taught how to multiply money, how to be able to multiply the money. Because I'll be honest with you guys, this right here is where wealth is created. This is the key to wealth right here, being able to know how to multiply money. Now, I know if you're like me, I grew up middle class, great family, great mom and dad. They split up. I went off to do my own thing. And I was surrounded by a bunch of middle class people who only knew how to earn money in their business or job, and they only knew how to save money in their business or job. But I've been always interested in wealthy people. I'm always like, dude, how did they do that? Like, what did they do? And I always found out one main thing: they were exposed to access to a lot of money and a different way of thinking early. Steve Schwarzman, when you study guys like that, Warren Buffett, like when you like I study Warren Buffett, this dude's been making money since he was like 6, 7 years old. He was more interested in anything else. So his exposure, his parents were, they weren't wealthy, but they owned shops, they owned a grocery store. All these people that we see, they were already exposed to wealth. So if you didn't come from that, like me, my parents weren't talking to me about wealth. As a matter of fact, while all this stuff was going on, people I study today, my parents were like working. So if you aren't around it all the time, you don't even know that this world exists. But this, my friends, is the multiplying of money is how you create wealth, right? So when I got exposed to that, because I got into real estate, I stayed in my portion of doing real estate way too long. Like it wasn't a good business buying properties and turning around and selling them. It wasn't until I actually started getting more into multifamily real estate because I knew I wanted to create wealth. I knew I wanted to be what I thought was wealth. I wanted to be rich, meaning like I wanted to do whatever the hell I wanted to do, which technically is financial freedom. But the older I get, I start looking at wealth and I'm like, that's why I'm like, dude, I needed to one get out of the business of wholesaling and flipping, which I never really was in that. I was in subject twos where I buy nice properties and sell them, which to me is still selling and flipping. And any multifamily deals that I was doing, I kept them, but they weren't great assets. They weren't going to create wealth for me. They made me and my investors rich. But here's what I wanted to share with you guys today. If you're thinking about, and I've talked about this from a wealth standpoint, wealth, you got to learn how to multiply your money. All right. So simply put, I personally choose as my vehicle for wealth is multifamily real estate, big commercial multifamily real estate, 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, great locations, A locations, B and A class properties in top cities, best places I can get. Right. That's the business that I'm in and helping investors invest alongside of my company, Bell Capital, which is what the goal was here. So, how do you do that? The challenge, like I said earlier, is most people don't know how to multiply money. So, let's say, for example, you saved 300K. You made 300K, it's sitting in your account. You got a business, you're making money. You're not focused on that, right? You're not focused on making more money like your business is making money, but you're saving. So, this is what you have. So, in this situation, you'd want to invest that money into real estate. Let's say real estate, an apartment building that we're looking at, hypothetically, or whatever. The goal here is number one, don't lose money. You want to preserve capital, right? Capital preservation. Don't lose it. Don't lose money. That is rule number one when you're investing money. This is the number one rule of multiplying and moving into wealth is you want to invest your money into something that doesn't go away, right? So bigger multifamily assets like the ones that we look at, those are the types of deals. That's why I focus on that stuff for me and my investors. All right. That's number one. Number two, you want something that cash flows. This has to cash flow. This number one, boom. There you go. I want to mark up my board. That's number two. It's got to cash flow for you. Number three, there's got to be tax advantages to that. And I'm going somewhere with this $300,000. So you want to have some type of tax benefits. If you guys have seen this before, I love talking about that because the goal here is yes, don't lose your money. have your money produced for you, man. Make little babies here and there. Get that dripping going every month on the money that you currently have. And then next, you need to be in a vehicle that actually gives you tax benefits so you keep more of the cash flow that you make, or you're offsetting the money that you make from your other business because the tax benefits from your real estate investments is kicking over into you so you can actually take advantage of it. This is how the wealthy play this game. And I'll go into how to multiply the money in a second, right? And then the other thing, number four, what I'm looking at always is scale, right? It's got to be big enough. When you start listening to like Warren Buffett, Steve Schwarzman from Blackstone, Larry Fink from BlackRock, who else? Elon Musk. Everybody's operating at scale. Everybody's operating big. They're not thinking little. They're like, how big can we do this? Aside from what you hear them say, when you really listen, they aren't trying to do little stuff. So that is another way that wealthy multiply stuff. They need to get, I mean, you got like, you guys that are just looking for 10 units, 20 units, 30 units, great, do that. That's a good start. But you aren't going to get wealthy off of those. You will create money off of those things and you can save money. But at some point, you're going to have to invest your money into something bigger. That comes at scale, not just the size of units that you're looking at if you're looking at real estate, but you need to invest with other people. That's why I created Bell Capital. We can get 200-300 investors in one deal, as opposed to before I could only get 3 or 2 or 4 or 5. Like that's different. But this is another way to multiply your money because the more people are involved in a deal because of the size of the deal, the more wealth you guys are going to create together. So, like we said, with our $300,000 example, let's just say you got 300K, boom, and you're going to put it in a deal. Like we said, number one, you want to preserve your money. You don't want to lose money, right? If you're in a multifamily deal, let's say we need to put up 30 million bucks. All together come in 30 million, you put in 300,000 out of your money. Right? That's number one. First, we're going to go in a deal where we ain't going to lose it. Number two, we want to make sure that our 300K in this situation, let's say you're trying to multiply your money. We're going to get 5% a year on our money, right? And let's say we did that for 10 years. You're going to make 150K. That's almost 50% of your initial money back. So first you didn't lose your money and now you've already made half your money back on a deal. That's huge. That's how the wealthy play this game, where they're like, hey, I'm going to put my money in. I'm not going to lose it. I'm going to double. I'm going to probably make half of my money back just off of cash flow. Right. And then next, that's one. This is two. Another way, like we said, this is cash flow. Then we also want that increase. We want to be able to continue to move. That's why scale is so important. So let's say off of that same 300K, we get another 5% increase. This is an increased value on revenue. Let's say the rents on the property went up by 5%. So that's another 75,000 that you're going to make off of your 300,000. Let's say we only did that for 5 years instead of 10 years. Boom. So that's another 75,000. That's the third part of this. This is how wealth continues to grow. You're not losing it. You're making cash flow when you go in, and you got an additional, right? And then last but not least, I give you a 300K back because, again, like we said, we didn't lose it. Capital preservation. You didn't do that. You made, what is that? 225,000, right? 225K, right? From cash flow going up on your property. So that's one. So you got your 300K, not lost. You made 225,000. And then let's say when we sell or we exit or we refinance, we give you another, this is profit. Boom, another 100% on that. So that's what, where's my phone? I know what it is, but I like to do this way because your money turned into 825,000, but I want to show you. So you got your 300,000 that you put in, still safe, give you that back. You made 225,000 on your money, right? That cash flow, that now you're at 525 because you got your money back plus that 225. Plus, when we sold, you got another 300,000 back. Brings you up to 825. I wanted to show you that. The reason why that's important is here. Now we have over 10 years, your 300K. You didn't do anything else. Your 300K turned into $825,000, 825K. This is how wealthy people play the game. That's how they multiply their money. Now they were sitting down, they were running their other business, they were doing a bunch of other stuff. They're still doing their business. They're still making money. They're still saving money, right? They're still saving more money up all the time. And they're just going to keep, before you know it, they look around and there's $800,000 sitting. and it's been locked up in this asset. And oh, by the way, they probably didn't pay very much to little taxes on this money, right? Almost zero taxes. Because this is the game, but most people don't really get it. So let's say, like I said, you have a business, you're sitting on 300,000, $1 million, it doesn't matter. That's how wealthy people multiply their money, right? I personally like multifamily real estate to do that because real estate has the most benefits of most other, I would say all other, the most tax benefits of all other asset class of assets and vehicles out there to me personally, right? The tax benefits are great. It's real. I can see it. I can touch it. It goes up with inflation as opposed to coming down. Like inflation is good for real estate people because it's a real asset, right? That's how wealthy people tend to play the game of multiplying money. Yes, they are still focusing on earning money. Yep, they put money off to the side, but their main portion to create and keep building wealth, generational wealth for them and their families, always comes through multiplying their money. So if you weren't taught that, like I said, because you grew up middle class, you didn't grow up that way, nobody's having these conversations. It wasn't until I was almost 50 years old, 48, that I really started understanding why I could never really succeed in the money game. And even if I was never catching up to the people that I was studying because they were playing a different game with different rules, different requirements than I was. And now that I'm doing that, I want to help the everyday investor be able to get inside of these type of deals that we look at that are typically assets reserved for the wealthy, right? Institutional quality assets that normally the little guy doesn't get access to. The everyday investor like you and I, we didn't get that stuff. Nobody's opening that door. Steve Schwarzman and Barry Sternlicht from Starwood are not doing videos on YouTube to try to show you, hey guys, here's what we're looking at and why. You know, can they answer your questions? Yeah. Will you ever talk to them? Probably not. They're hard to get to. So that's why I'm doing this because I want to be a conduit to that, man. I do. I mean, I'm doing it for my family, so I want to help more people get involved because I know this is where I want my family's money to be. And you guys have ever watched or followed me, first things first, you got to know 100% multifamily real estate is where you want to go. Number two, you got to know that that's where you want your family's money to be at, period. Like, do you want to be a real estate family? I mean, think through wealth, generational, like, I want the Bell family is going to be a real estate family. That's one of our things. Our investors that we represent in Bell Capital, they're going to also be a real estate family. Like everyone's going to know where their wealth is coming from. And it helps when you have already committed that. So this is how you multiply your money. The wealth multiplier is that way. Don't lose your money. Invest it in something that cash flows and it goes up in value. The appreciation piece has the tax benefits and it operates at scale. And you can have so much runway that you can have your 300,000 turn to 800,000, or it's going to turn to 2.4 million at some point. That's the goal. Always have your wealth constantly working for you while you continue to work and earn money, put it aside and keep doubling down. All right. So I hope that this helps you guys. I wanted to share with you guys the very simple thing that I know that when I simplify stuff, there's a lot more to this. Trust me, you probably forgot a good bit of what I said already. Watch the video again. Think through that, and I'm here to help you. So like this video, comment on this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel. I love to have you because we're going to be pushing more and more. My goal is to help you create wealth for you and your family. Take what you made, your hard-earned money, and get your hard-earned money to work just as hard as you did for it. That is how you succeed and play this wealth game, how the everyday investor can play this game. So have a great day today. Let's go.